Welcome to episode 166 of Beyond the Brick. I'm Joshua Hanlon.
And I'm Matthew Kay.
And we'd like to thank Brickmania for supporting this episode of Beyond the Brick. Check out World War Brick at Anaheim, California, February 12th through the 14th to see some amazing military builds from builders all around the world. You can check out more at worldwarbrick.com. And this episode, we have a great guest for you. Miguel is joining us from Portugal. He is 43 years old, a systems engineer, and he is helping run the new Portugal LEGO Fan Weekend that we will be talking to him all about on this episode. So it's great to have you with us, Miguel. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, everyone.
So if you just want to start off maybe by telling us a little bit about the Portugal LEGO community, kind of what that is like, maybe some of the lugs, and then the lug that you're a part of as well.
Okay. Well, Portugal, as you might know, is a very small country. But we have a lot of active efforts. Right now we have more, but we have two decent, recognizable LEGO user groups. Ours has been into existence for about 10 years now. And well, we take things seriously because we already provided 5 LEGO designers. So we can say that.
So 5 people from your group have gone on to become LEGO.
The first one was Marcos Bessa, the designer the Simpsons house, the York Village, the Batbot, stuff like that. The second one was Antonio. He joined the Friends team 2 years after Marcos, and now on January, Pablo, Cesar, and Catarino joined on this last round. They started on 6th January. They're all from our log.
That's amazing. So lots of talent in that club.
Now we've been lucky, and we do emphasize on collaborative displays, and we do emphasize of having people using parts of our common pool. So when we see some merits and we see some people that are really good to build, for instance, one of the examples is Cesar. Cesar is brand new. You probably know him on Flickr by Cesbrick. He builds medieval houses, and he built a very large castle display. And he had a very small amount of parts, so he was building these mocks and tearing them down so that he can build another mock. And he approached us. He went to one of our events and he went to visit us. He introduced himself. He was already on the forum. He introduced him. Hi, I'm Cesar. And when we asked him for his mocks, he said they no longer exist. I'm tearing them apart. And, no, don't do that, please. We have. And so it was. He started to building with some of the common parts. And since he was such a speed builder and such a prophetic builder, we told him that perhaps he should build a display with the mocks that he was doing, and that's how he was. So to top the cake with the cherry, he built a very large castle so that he could put as a center of this display of the medieval houses.
So you have a real tendency to kind of uplift the builders within the club, right? Like
Of course, we do accept private initiation, of course, and initiative as well. But we try to have not just a small mock. We try to aim to larger displays. That's what we try to do with community, with our log, to have some larger displays where everyone that wants can collaborate on the building.
Sure. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. And so how many shows with these larger displays do you guys then try to put on shows several times a year, or how does that usually work?
We try to have around 3 to 4 events a year, and we try to attend events abroad as well. We have our main event once a year, and in Paredes de Coura. It's been now for the 8th year in a row. And since we invited some of the people from LEGO to attend the event all along these years, and they have kindly agreed to, I think that was the reason that the Lego Fan Weekend in Paredes de Coura rise, because they saw what we did, they saw how the people behaved there and how they like it there, so they suggested, so why don't we organize something international? So why don't they were thinking already on the hub events, and we didn't knew about it. So last summer when the Kim Thompson was here in N, I said, why don't you go ahead and organize an international event? Because on our events we already asked some international lugs to be there. We had there was one 2 years ago. There was one event where we had 6 different nationalities. I think so. They saw what we could do, and so they put up this challenge to us. And so last December on Brick in London, we were offered to do the Lego Fan Weekend. So it's I think it will be very demanding. I think it will also be a challenging, but I think we will pull it through. Right now we have around the sign-ups open 2 weeks ago, and we have around 88 sign-ups from 5 different continents. So
88 is a crowd.
we hope to aim for some more before we close the doors and say we're full. Now we're trying to aim to some few more. We're still missing some guys from France, some guys from Belgium, and some guys from Italy as well. 1 or 2 from Italy.
Some guys from America.
From guys from America, yeah. Waiting for your sign up, Matthew.
I think right now, so I am actually planning. One of the reasons we wanted to have you on the show is because I'm planning to make it to the show. So that'll be my first international Lego convention. I made it to most of them in the U.S. now, but so I think right now I'm the only person from the U.S. signed up for the show. Hopefully some more people sign up, and we can get some more people from over here out to Portugal.
Yes. That will be fine.
Is it just how's the kind of team that's running it and setting it up and organizing the event work then? Is it just you, or how does that work? Are there other people you kind of have volunteers?
We have 3 international athletes. It's me, it's Marcus from Germany, from Paredes de Coura. I think I pronounced it right, hopefully. And Louis Gilbert from Barcelona, from East Fabric. East Fabric, yeah, I guess so. Just let me check if I'm not making some mistake. I think it's from East Fabric. And then we have, of course, a lot of people, a lot of helping hands, organizing all these events. We are the steering group, but we rely heavily on these helping hands. There are some guys for the website, there are some guys for the programming that it needs, there are some guys from graphical designers as well. Of course, people that come up with ideas, with suggestions. So we have a lot of them on board right now. I would say that we are around 12 to 15 guys just organizing the event. We try to organize. We try to organize a whole package. You just have to reach Portugal in one of the nearest airports. So everything else will be up to us. So we will pick you guys at the airport. We'll drive you guys to the event. We'll drive you guys to the accommodation houses. We'll feed you. We hope to entertain you as well, of course. So as you can see, there are a lot of logistics involved in here. Paredes de Coura is a small village. There isn't, for instance, a large hotel where we can put everyone up to sleep. So what we are hoping to do is they have a lot of boarding houses, the regular breakfast of the UK. And so what we're trying to aim is to have people sleeping on those boarding houses, but we'll drive them to the houses and we'll pick them up to the event as well.
Okay.
So, on the package when you sign up.
Yeah, that's a really interesting kind of novel way of doing a convention, because I can't really think of any other show, at least not in the U.S., that does it like that, where basically, as long as you can get to the country, the location, you guys take care of everything else for them.
That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to aim.
Yeah,
So
which I think is really cool. How did you decide to do it that way? Was it kind of, did you look at different models of other conventions around the world, or how did that work?
that's how we work here on our events.
Uh,
And that's perhaps I should talk about before a little bit about community. Community 0937, it's the name of our lab, and we do emphasize the word community. We don't aim at commercial events. We don't charge entrance for our events as well. And we do have a specific way of looking to the hobby. For instance, the common part pools was born for one of the members that he had a very large collection of parts. And he just came up to a point and said, I'm not going to use these parts until I'm dying. So what I'm going to do is, if someone needs the parts, and if someone wants to build with my parts, they can go ahead and have the parts so that they can build it. The only thing that I ask is to let the mods, so let the constructions that they build be available for display on events. And then sort of starting it all. And in following this member, other members did the same. So we passed it through a phase where we had a lot of people and no parts, and now we have a lot of parts and very small people because Lego is taking the guys from us.
So that's the biggest enemy to the success of your club, is Lego hiring away the best designers.
Of course, this is not easy, as you can guess. We do practice something that history has proved itself that does not work. Communism, right? So that's what we practice. Of course, there is it's very organic. We don't have an hierarchy. We do have some people that are more involved than the others that we call an hardcore group. But this hardcore is very organic because people get in and people get out. Because of course, life happens in a way. So you have some people that you can say steer the lug, but there are a lot of people around that come in and go out as well. And it's sometimes not very easy to comply with all these things. Of course, we have to deal with personalities, egos, all that sort of stuff, all right? And why should we have these parts? Because it's more valuable. I want these parts as well. Well, it's something that we need to deal with every day.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like then that your personal collection is smaller because the club kind of shares bricks like that? Do you not feel like each member then feels like they have to have as big of a personal collection?
It's very hard to decide because it's very hard to put. We do aim a lot to common sense because it's very hard for us to put what are my parts and what are the parts of the community. Let me give you an example. If I build something with the parts of the community and it's for display, I will give you the example of a snot landscape that we did for a space display. And I had the idea to build the snot landscape, but I only had slopes. Some other guy had bricks, some other guy had cheeses and plates. So I said, well, I would like to build a snot landscape, but I don't have the parts. I don't have all the parts. And the guys, do you want to build it? Do you have the time? I'll give you the parts. And I built the snot. You can see it on my Flickr page. I built the snot landscape, but all the parts that I used, they are not mine already, because it was for a community display, so they belong to the community. On the other hand, I designed on Eldro a spaceship, and I didn't have the parts to build the entire of the spaceship. And these guys that gave me the parts to build the landscape, I have the parts. So here you have. Use the parts. And I built a spaceship, and the spaceship is in my living room. It's very hard to draw a line. You should use common sense. Okay, that's what. For instance, Cesar built all this amazing castle. I don't know if you saw it on the internet, the Enchanted Forest display. And he used his parts. He used parts of the community, most of the parts of the community, of course. But display, he went to work for Lego, and the display stayed with the community to be displayed at shows. You know, it's something that you have to, and it's not easy for everyone to have this kind of posture, you know, because if they want to build it, it's mine, and I want to. So it's really very hard sometimes to, and I know that people sometimes do not usually love this kind of agreements that we have. So that's something that we always tell beforehand. Well, you're not making a deal with the devil, but be aware that if you build something, we expect you can take it home, but we expect it if you have an event and to display it, that you can bring it to the event. That's how we work.
Yeah, so that is very interesting how you guys do that. Again, I think that's something kind of unique there, but it's cool if that, you know, if it works for you, whatever kind of that's the nice thing about lugs all around the world, especially throughout the U.S. here as you go into different conventions. We've seen a lot of different ways that people run their lugs and everything. So whatever works for the local Lego group is nice.
It has been working for us for some time now, so we'll try to keep it working for us.
And I know you mentioned some Spanish AFOLs earlier. Do the Portugal lugs do much with the Spanish groups and kind of vice versa? How does that work?
Portugal lugs do. We do.
Okay.
We do. Well, the other main Portuguese lug, Plug, we also have met him, and we invited them to be part of this fan weekend as well. But we also have met him at Scarbeck on the first original fan weekend about 2-3 years ago. But I don't think that they go very much to international events. The reason that we did go to the international events was really to make some connections, to know some people outside from Portugal. And since we've been to Denmark, to Spain, and to France, I believe, as a lug, not as individuals, of course, we of course made some connections there. And then, since we're running the event for 8 years in a row now, it's been 10 years in a row, but 8 years in a row in the same place. We have invited some other lugs to participate in there. And there has been created a bond between these AFOs and some of the other lugs. So the Brazilian guys from Lug Brazil, they were a spin-off of our forum. They didn't have a forum. They started in our forum in Portugal, and then they created their own forum. For instance, they've been here for 2 years now. The Spanish guy, it's the 3rd year in a row, and now it will be the 4th. For instance, we now are changing the event. On June, it's no longer a Community 0937 event. It will be a fan weekend, a Lego-driven event. But the people are still coming. We put up our main event up to October or to November, but people, since they usually have the summer vacations on June, it doesn't matter for us. You're having an event, we'll go.
Exactly.
It's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is great. And so if you can talk a little bit more about the event, I don't know how much of this you guys have planned out so far as is there any events or games, that kind of thing that you have planned or things similar in that nature that you know will be going on at the event that people can look forward to if they're planning to attend?
Well, if you've been to Scarbeck, it will be this kind of event. It will be a convention kind of event, not a public directed event. So you can expect all the kinds of activities, workshops, and speakers to be on the Paredes de Coura fan weekend and do the same. We do have something planned, but we would like to disclose the program in a few weeks. As I said, if you went to one of the Scarbacks or one of the Lego walls, you will find that they are somehow similar. But we want kids to make this a distinct event as well. So we have to balance the scales and see what we can do about it. The Brazilian guys had one thing that was really amazing. They had the phrase Lego Fan Weekend, and they had the fan word scratched out, and they written above fun with a U. And it's something that we would like to have here. Our main concern is that the participants have fun. in here, like we do on our events. So we try to change to pass on this fun to our fellow international athletes. That's what we aim to do, and that's our main concern for the fan weekend, is that people have fun and want to come back again. You know, we do create the fan weekend because of the brick, but once you arrive, brick is not your main concern anymore, because you have other athletes where you can smoke, you eat, you drink, you have fun, you have activities. That's what we want to do. That's what we're aiming to do. And of
Very
course,
cool. Very
yeah,
cool.
you'll get your bricks as well, of course, but only at the end.
Hmm. And so neither Matthew nor I have ever been to the Scareback weekend. What is kind of the approach to the public there? Is it kind of like the Saturday and Sunday
And
is
there will be public in our event as well, but it's not
okay.
aimed to the public. It's aimed to the participants. So
Okay.
what we care about is that you, Matthew, and the other participants have fun, not the public. Public will enjoy to see the construction that you guys bring, but for us, it's really to have fun. And we'll try to accommodate our timetables as we were suggested by Lego. 2 a.m. It's not a very good hour to start the auction, so perhaps you can begin it a little bit earlier.
Normal time schedule.
Normal
Stay
time
up all
schedule,
night.
please. Don't close the exhibition at 11 p.m. That's no good.
That's funny.
We will try to follow their suggestions as well.
Hmm. And because Lego is so connected with it, there will be several Lego employees right there, correct?
Right now we have 3 people from the new FO and relationships team. We have Jan Bayer, Kim Thompson, and Anna Alboy. The other people that are from Lego, they will participate, but as on a personal note, so they will not speak for Lego or represent Lego in any way. Right now, the official ones are only these 3. Okay.
Very nice.
Because as I said before, we do have a lot of friends as Lego designers, but if they come here, they will not be as a Lego employee. The Lego employee, the Lego designer, will be defined by Lego. Okay, so perhaps you will find some people more here that work from Lego, but they will be here on a personal notes, not as a Lego employee.
Hmm. Just kind of enjoying the show as a fan. Then I'm sure that's kind of nice for them, not having to be the official aspect of the company all the time.
Well, Lee McBilly from Mindstorms in education, he's been here for 5 years in a row, so that's the kind of people that, if attend the event, will be on a personal note.
Hmm.
Awesome.
And what would you say are the major kind of themes that people can expect at this event? Do the Portugal builders kind of build in a lot of themes, or is it pretty diverse, kind of some of everything?
Right now, we are leaving all the space to people that come here. Still haven't opened the mock registration yet, so we don't know what people will try to bring.
Okay.
We'll only put up some of our stuff on display if there is enough space. Right now, we want to have that participants can bring whatever they want. And if we need to fill in the gaps, then we'll go into our own stuff. But we do have a lot of stuff stored away, so it will be no problem. It's just a matter of rebuilding it all.
Hmm. So it's kind of focusing on the community aspect there again, just kind of leaving as much room as possible for the people attending, and then if there's extra room, you've got some bills to fill the space.
On a personal note, I'm trying to bring some young athletes together to bring a collaborative display of classic space, but it's something that we still have to work on it. I think I will not be able to get my full attention on it, so perhaps I will, of all the people that we have talked about, I will finally probably find someone who takes charge and leads all the other people, so that we could at least have one great collaborative display at the show and not only individual mods.
Sure. And can you remind people then about the dates real quick of the event, and if you have any maybe kind of travel tips, especially for people maybe coming from outside of like Spain, Portugal area, is there anything that you would recommend like that of flying in or anything related to that?
If they are able to, I would recommend them to take more than the days of the event. But because it's a beautiful country, probably in June it will be sunshine. Beaches are very nearby. It's a lovely country to visit. Of course, we also offer, besides the package of the 5 days, 4 nights, we also offer one extra night at your own choice before or after the event, in case if you want to fly earlier, and in case if you want to fly lately after events on your way home. And those days can be extended. It's just a matter of telling us about and saying that, well, I want to be there in Portugal for 1 week, and we'll arrange for the accommodations to be extended for 1 week. The only concern that I have is that the setup on Tuesday. Let me start by saying the days. The days of the event are the 10th of June through the 12th of June. The setup day will be the 9th of June on Tuesday. And if people bring a lot of constructions, they should consider to arrive on Wednesday, so they can start earlier on Tuesday. Because we are trying to arrange the shuttles from the several airports, 3 airports nearby. And if I have some people arriving at 7 a.m. and other people arriving at 9 a.m., and the guys that unfortunately arrive at 7 a.m. will have to wait until the guys of 9 a.m. arrive.
So coordinate your flights if you can, right?
Because I cannot make the transportation, because, for instance, from Santiago de Compostela it's still 2 hours drive. So it does not make sense to pick up the guys from 7 a.m., drive them to the event, go back to the airport, and bring the guys out, because I'll take four hours.
Right.
Again. So that will condition a little bit the shuttle transports. We're aiming to 2 shuttle transports in each airport in the morning and 2 transports in the afternoon. Of course, if there is one specific guy who only gets a flight at, let's say, 10 p.m., there will be someone there to pick him up, okay? But we'll try to... That's the problems that we have right now with logistics. The other problems that we have with logistics is how to get you guys all to sleep in the boarding houses.
Now, these are boarding houses. Are these like college dormitories or?
Yeah, boarding houses, like bed and breakfast in Ireland.
Bed and breakfast.
Okay, it's private houses owned. They are specifically habilitated to touristics, to tours, and they have usually 3 to 4 extra bedrooms with your private bathrooms, and they serve breakfast. That's why they call it B&B, bed and breakfast.
Yep.
And that's where you people will be staying, in boarding houses. Not boarding houses as in students, no. Your own private bedroom. I then can show you some pictures of it.
Pictures!
Pictures. Let me see if I can find pictures here. Of course, I can also show you some pictures of the place in Paredes de Coura, where the event will be held.
Definitely, and I can make sure to put some links as well in the description of this video. So if you want to check those out to the different boarding houses and places.
I can do that afterwards, off the show. No problem.
So, see if you can pull up a few photos here. You might be able to screen share for some people to show what some of these places look like that you'll be doing. Now, is this how close is this to like maybe the major cities or other things that you would suggest people would want to see if they're traveling to Portugal?
Yeah, it's 100 meters away from Porto. If you go to the website, it's fanweekend.pt from Portugal. The website is translated in 4 different languages: English, Spanish, Portuguese, German, and French. Sorry, 5 different languages. And you have some info there, and you can check the nearest airports. So the nearest airports are from Porto and in Portugal and Vigo in Spain, and they are 1 hour drive from the event, about 100 kilometers. It's about 75 miles, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The first airport is Lisbon, and that's 3 hours drive from the event. It's no way.
That's not an option, is it?
That's why we're not making shuttle transports from Lisbon, only from Porto Vigo and Santiago de Compostela.
Now, how far is Porto?
It's 1 hour drive.
Oh, really? Oh, it's not that bad at all.
Yeah, no. And it's always highway, so no. Because you have problem with speed limit, but
It's flexible.
And now Porto has Ryanair access, right?
yeah.
So you can go anywhere in Europe for very cheap on Ryanair.
Also on Facebook, on the group of the fan weekend, you have some photos of the village and of the Paredes de Coura is very well known in Portugal and around Europe for the musical festival. And so I believe that 150 persons on the fan weekend will not make a difference, because I'll show you. Let me see if I can share. It's not screen share. How can I send some picture to here? No. Well,
you should be able to screen share if you
So let me open the.
see if this works here.
Let's see if I can see screen share. Entire screen. This one. I don't know if you're seeing.
It's just showing your same video right now.
Yeah. So perhaps if I can share the entire screen. Let's see. Screen share. Entire screen. Go screen sharing, and let's see if I can hear.
Oh wow.
This is a music festival, so I think 150 guys will not make a mess. And this is a river that goes on the village. So we're planning some activities near the river as well, because as you can see in summer, it will be good to have some activities near the river.
That looks miserable.
That is right. This is the entrance hall with some displays that we had. The main hall.
Very impressive, yeah.
The play zone, small play zone for kids. This is the meals room where all the people will have the meals. The auditorium where the workshops will be and the spokesman.
I have to say that looks much more comfortable than your average LEGO conventions seating.
So this is something that you can expect. I can also share some more pictures on the link afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure to include all that stuff in the description of the video. But that looks really cool there. Yeah, thanks for pulling those up. It looks like you should be some great stuff going on there.
We hope so, and we really hope that we can provide you with a lot of fun being here. I know that we have. We usually have.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so then you said you've had a show here for several years in the past. Has that had a public aspect, and what's the attendance usually like on that?
No, very few public, about 8,000 to 10,000 people, no more. If you Google it, Paredes de Coura has a population of less than 2,000 people. So for us, 8,000 people or 10,000 people in a one weekend to Paredes de Coura is really a good deal.
Yeah, you're like quadrupling the city population there.
We had some other events, not LEGO related, to join on the same weekend, so that people can take advantage of the people that go visit the LEGO event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that looks like you've got a great event you're working on here, and I'm sure as we work through the months here, as we get closer to the show, then you'll announce even more exciting news about the convention.
We'll have some news every week on Facebook or on in the website. Right now, we're working on we're running a contest for coming up with mascots for the event, and we hopefully will put that up on the weekend. There's a good prize as well involved. For I will incentivize people to participate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very cool. So I'll include links to that and everything else that we talked about in the description of the video here, so people can check all of that out. And definitely encourage you to go to the website. Once again, is fanweekend.pt. So if you want to learn more about the convention and how you can attend. Yeah, definitely. So check all that out, and I'm sure it'll be a great time. So I thank you, Miguel, for joining us on the show here and telling us all about the new Fan Weekend event there in Portugal. It looks like it should be a really fun time.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me here.
Yep.
Thank you, Miguel. Thank you.
And thanks everyone out there for watching. We will see you soon.